Hi there VC, Happy New Year, Steve Whitty here. It's the 1st of January 2024 and that means vinyl tag time. I didn't do one last year because, to be honest, I didn't feel really inclined up in the mood to do one. I didn't really watch many of those videos, but my good friend Rob Walker has done it for the last few years, set the questions, and I think it's only fair this time I'd take part in a way to sort of like interact a bit more with the VC, which something I didn't do particularly a lot of in 2023, which you might find out with some of the answers to the questions. So the rules of Vinyl Tag are that you are asked 20 questions based on your collection, and you give your own answers. That's the beauty of Vinyl Tag. Everyone's gonna no two videos are going to be the same, and for those who've just started posting videos or doing vinyl community videos, it's a great way of actually finding out new people to watch, and hopefully people will go and watch you as well. So just put the hashtag vinyl tag and you'll be fine. Okay, enough of me prattling on. So question one, favourite record you purchased in 2023? Now I did show my 10 finds of 2023 in my last video, so if I had to nail it down to one, I'm going to go with Idle Race Birthday Party, and it's purely because it's a bloody good record. But also it was one of those records that's not easy to find, especially in the original mono Liberty pressing. So that pleased me greatly. So question two, I think I'll have the book here. Last record you purchased in 2023. Now I haven't shown it yet because I haven't got to do December's finds video, but I'll give you a quick look. I might explain more in the video. It's Ian Hunter and it's Overnight Angels. Ian Hunter, he's born the same year as my dad, and he's still going knocking around. He had an album out last year which was very good. This is a demonstration record, not quite the right labels you have in the US, but it's a DJ copy, produced by Roy Thomas Baker. But as I say, I'll explain a little bit more when I do my December finds video. So number three, a band or singer who released 2 or more albums in the same year. This was quite easy. This came straight to my head. And the band I'm talking about is Free. In 1970, they released Fire and Water. Best known, obviously, the big track off here was All Right Now, which in a single edit reached number 2 in the UK. I think number 4 in the US. The album itself was top 10. Fresh with that, the band decided to go into the studio and record a new album. However, they'd been listening to the band and they brought out Highway, which I think is a superior album to Fire and Water. However, the album's bombed. Lead single The Stealer wasn't as instant as All Right Now, but there are some corking tracks on this album. Be My Friend, Ride On Pony, Soon I Will Be Gone, Bodie, a Highway song. You could see what they were listening to. They wanted to expand. Unfortunately, the audience at that time wanted All Right Now Part 2, and this really led to the first split of the band. Okay, if you could only listen to music from one decade, what would you choose? That was easy. 70s. It'll always be the 70s. I am a child of the 70s. I'm 58. And I grew up top of the pops. But what makes the 70s so special for me, you had reggae. That came into force as Aswad's debut album. You had world music. This is As a Guy. This is called Afro Rock, but it's basically a budget reissue of the Zimbabwe album, which goes for silly money. Singer-songwriter, and this is Ojo Armour Trading. This was all from one section that's behind me. When I looked out, pulled out the question there. Prague, Atomic Rooster. Power Pop, Badfinger, the No Dice album. Yeah, you had the birth of metal, Black Sabbath. You then glam rock, art rock, whatever you want to call it, Bowie, Lad Insane, Punk, Damned, New Wave, Blondie. You know, this is the Plastic Letters. I know Rob showed them, Parallel Lines. And then, if we had a little bit of R&B soul, Roberta Flack. So you had all sorts of music pointing out, and there's tons. I haven't even shown any country rock like the Eagles or Graham Parsons or the like. That's in my collection. The reason I've chose 70s, I say, over the 80s, because the 80s was probably when I started buying records more seriously, is it became corporate in the 80s. It was not quite the same. A lot of these artists, a lot of artists that we grew up and loved in the 70s would not have had a chance. And when EMI got took over by Fawn, basically they called the Harvest label. So people like Bill Nelson, they were suddenly out of contract. You wouldn't get half what you wouldn't. You just wouldn't get it in the 80s. The 80s would cook, but it had to be about sales, and it's got even worse. It comes on the 90s, the noughties, the 10s, and then we're into the 20s. Yeah, so number 5, show a record by a band from Manchester. Now I thought it's going to be too obvious to show Smiths, Hollies, New Order, Joy Division, yada yada. So I've gone, and I thought about 10cc, but I thought one better. Hot Legs. Hot Legs, basically Manchester musicians. This is basically before 10cc, so it's basically 10cc without Graham Gouldman. Hot Legs came about because Eric Stewart was setting up Strawberry Studios, and he set it up in Stockport, which is just in Greater Manchester. And he wanted a song to test, and they came up with Neanderthal Man. And the record, and somebody put it to Decca, and they said, well, this could be a hit. So they recorded it, and lo and behold, it came a top 10 hit. I think it reached number 2. And I think it became a hit in the US. They did do an album. This is basically a reissue of that album under a different name. I think someone hates school. I have seen a copy of this, but this is all right. You know, you can see where the genesis of 10cc came from this. Where are we? Number 6. Which band or singer did you listen to most in 2023? I ain't going to show a record because it was mainly streaming. I listened to a lot of the Rolling Stones. I listened to the Mono albums got reissued last year, and I streamed it quite a lot, particularly when working from home. So that's who I listened to mainly, was the Rolling Stones. I haven't listened to the new album yet. Show 7 7-inch singles. I just got a box down from up here, and literally 7 7-inch singles, no particular order. Associates, Party Fears 2, Back to Badfinger. I found one of these this year. No Matter What, in a picture cover. Talking of Bill Nelson earlier, Bebop Deluxe, the Hot Valves EP, which featured Made in Heaven as the lead track. Found this year, Kate Bush, Child in Her Eyes, in a picture sleeve. One of the rarer Alice Cooper singles, No More Love at Your Convenience, from the Lace and Whiskey album. Julian Cope, World Shut Your Mouth. And Ian Jury, What a Waste. Now, some of you might be saying that about my video. I do notice the connection times. Number 8. Who's coming to your party? 4 music-related people. You know what? I didn't think of 4 different people. I've just gone and decided around this time I'd get Pink Floyd back in a room and tell them to sort themselves out, or just wait for the pin to come out the grenade and run. What's happened recently is just tarnished the name, in my opinion. The fact that Roger Waters feels he has to re-record Dark Side of the Moon, because he feels he don't get enough credit or whatever. You know, I can't be doing it. Can't be doing with it, to be honest. We lost them. So choose one musician who passed away in 2023. I've gone for Robbie Robertson and the band. The first two band albums are just classic albums. In fact, all this stuff's good, but these two really stand out. Music from the Big Pink actually probably is one of the most influential albums of all time. But I do love this because this is almost like Americana. It was born from here as well. Okay. Imagine you could only listen to music from one country. And I thought, I'm not going to go the obvious. I know Rob chose England, and you've got Scotland, you've got Wales, you've got Northern Ireland. I did think about Niger because I've got Timiroan and Modern Mokhtar, but there's only two artists I've got there. So in the end, I've gone for Republic of Ireland. So you've got Boomtown Rats, Horselips, Rory Gaga, U2, Thin Lizzy. And I haven't brought out me Sinead O'Connor or Pogue or Shane McGowan stuff. There are tons of decent bands. Hothouse Flowers, Cry Before Dawn. Tons of great bands that came out from Ireland. No Sweat. Yeah, it's starting to come into my head as I'm talking about it. Yeah, brilliant. Ireland, for such a small country, you could say it's punched above their weight musically. England, well, we've got 50 odd million, you know, in it, obviously. If we can't produce anything half decent, we'll never be able to do it. All right, where are we? Okay, name 3 VC channels you discovered in 2023. And it's going back to my first point at the start, mentioning about 2023 not doing a vinyl tag. I just did not feel inclined to even really watch, let alone make videos. So they haven't really discovered anybody new. I tend to stick to what I know, and if I can be asked, I'll get around to commenting. This is something I'm looking to change in 2024, because the one thing about the VC, and this is advice for those who've just recently started posting vinyl videos, is you make good friendships here. We regularly, the UK guys, will have a Zoom chat, once every 3 or 4 months, just to check out how things going. We've not had a meet up in the last couple of years. We've not had a meet up post-COVID, to be honest. So I'm going to look to put that right. I'll have a look to see where nearest record fairs. Trouble is, it always seems to be Birmingham. Well, I ain't got a problem with it because I don't have to travel, but we're only fair if we could meet elsewhere. Last meet up we had was pre-COVID, when that was Bristol. So yeah, that'd be nice to meet, to establish contact with a few more people again. Right, okay. Show an album that you brought as a teenager, and I'll show you the first album I brought as a teenager. It's ELO, Face the Music. I had some money for my 13th birthday, so I literally had, was it 14th? No, it may have been 14th. Memory's playing up. So I literally only just turned a teenager. And as Rob was saying in his video, he was mainly singles he brought. Then when you start, your pocket money goes up a little bit. We saved a few money. So it was birthday money, so I brought an album. I brought this. And I only brought it because I knew Evil Woman. But I've played it to death. Could do with it. I would love to find a copy in green vinyl. So Fire on High, Waterfall, Evil Woman, Night Rider, Poker, Strange Magic, Down Hometown, One Summer Dream. Pretty good album. At that point, ELO, Jeff Lynne was on a roll creatively. Obviously, New World Record, Out of the Blue would come after that. Okay. Show a funk or soul record. Funkadelic, free your mind and your ass will follow, or your ass will follow. Story to this actually is down to VC, and I can't remember the name of the channel, but he had a contest. The guy running it had a contest, and when he did the draw, he named all the entrants, and he didn't mention my name, and I didn't say anything. I wasn't too bothered, but he realised, and he did a video, and he apologised to me. He forwarded me an Amazon voucher for the US, so I got this from Amazon in the US, and they shipped it over to me. So that's the story of this album. So it's one of those albums that's come from the VC. Right. Show a record. On question 14. Show a record everyone has, and then show a record that nobody else owns. We hope nobody else owns. I'm going to go Sergeant Pepper, and it could well be. I could say any Beatles album, but I'll go with Sergeant Pepper. I think everyone has heard it, if they've not got a copy of it. From the album, I don't think anyone's got. It's a band called Bank, and it's their album Testem Panem Shita. They're from Poland. Pete at the shop, he gave it me, and he said, I think you'll like this. This is very much jazz fusion. Come prog. Here's the band. I think this came out 82. And I think some of the communist countries were a bit more liberal when it came to performers, because it was heavily. I know Soviet Union was very didn't want the stain of Western pop going in, even though people smuggled in records and cut them onto X-ray photos. This wasn't my first choice. I do have an album somewhere of a Russian band called Cosmos. Again, it's sort of jazz fusion band that came out in 1989 on the Melodium record label. But I can't find it anywhere. It would have been a better choice than that, but I think nobody's got Bank. Right, now we got question 15. She's Great. A record by a female artist you brought in 2023. And you know what? I think I only brought this I showed in the last video. Nico. That's something I'm going to have to rectify. So I won't go on too much about that. Okay. Question 16. Favourite VC video you posted in 2023, and your favourite VC video of 2023. I'll go with mine first. I couldn't call it a favourite because I didn't really post that many, but I think it was important that I posted the 2023 It's Been a Bad Year So Far video, only for my benefit for me, where I explained what has happened in the 6 months. I posted it the day before my 58th birthday in June. And I showed some records. I interspersed it with records and not just me moaning how shit my life had been in the first half of the year. And I think it did me a lot of good just to get it out, just let it out. So in a way, that's my favourite because in a way it was the most beneficial to me. And my favourite video of 2023 is one I saw on New Year's Eve. And it's Mazzy's top 10 musical wankers of 2023. Mazzy does some good ranting videos. He did one about the jellyfish reissues where he wasn't impressed. I got a mate who got the album, and he said he couldn't find anything wrong with it. But obviously Mazzy might have been looking forward to those pressings, and he's so au fait with the album itself that he may have just been too disappointed. But the musical wankers, and I think I had to agree with some of them. You've got to watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it, because I think a fair few, you could go, I wouldn't call them wankers, arseholes would be the word I'd use, but hey. You know what, if I'm missing question 17, I think I've missed question 17 out. Hang on there. I'm back, VC. I've got the answer to question 17. Show me a 90s classic. Score by the Fugees. I haven't got many 90s vinyl, to be honest with you. So I think this was the first one that came to hand. So yes, yeah, I'm pleased. Yeah, I'll say this. This is a good album actually. This was this is an original press, but it was not in great nick. It's a double album, so I think it's the album. Then there's like a 12-inch as well. I haven't played it in years, so we'll have to rectify that sometime in 2024. There we go. Normal service is resumed. Question 18. If you could walk into a cover album, which one? This is going to be so blooming obvious. I think I won't be the first. But I'm going to give you Abbey Road. And I want to be the man going in the opposite direction, pointing out to Paul, you ain't got no bloody shoes on, have you, you prat? So, there you go. Number 19. Show an album. It's like a greatest hit, but it isn't. Human League There. This was their breakthrough album. They'd had had minor hits and they'd appeared on the Top of the Pops a couple of times, but they never had the breakthrough. Then Martin Ware and Ian Craig Marsh went on and formed Heaven 17, and then the story about Phil Oakley finding the girls in the dancing in a nightclub and getting them to join the band. It's pretty much the only Human League album you need. I don't think you need a greatest hits because it's got the 4 biggest singles. Well, it's got 4 big singles. There was a couple of singles that came after this album, and then Hysteria came out, which could never top Dare, you know. So there we go. And then the final question: album released in 1974. It's going to be 50 this year. And having to type in 1974 in my Discogs account, first album that came up was On the Beach by Neil Young. I was lucky to find a copy of this last year. So there you go, Rob. I hope you like the answers there. Again, you know, I will be watching some more vinyl tag videos this year. I think the first week or so he's usually spending watching those. I don't think anybody else really puts anything else out, though I am going to look at working on my vinyl finds, recent finds for December video as well. It might be 2 videos because I've got a little bit to show. Anywho, thank you for watching. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Don't forget to leave a comment. I do like the interaction. And for anyone that's new to the channel, you know, again, that's all I ask for. I'm not particularly too keen on having a huge number of subscribers, but there you go. Anyway, whatever you do today, or for 2024, keep spinning. More importantly, keep on smiling.